I'm Patrick Dwyer, he, him. I'm an autistic PhD candidate at the University of California, Davis, in the Neurocognitive Development Lab. And I was fortunate enough to receive the Autism Speaks Royal Arch Mason Auditory Processing Fellowship. The study that we're doing has really a couple of major goals. One of them is about better understanding and measuring sensory differences in autism, which is very important to me as an autistic person growing up. I had all these very distressing sensory experiences, but I didn't quite have the right language to articulate and describe them to other people. And it turns out that the research literature is really struggling with this as well. Even, with the very best expert research, a lot of the time we lump things together that are actually quite distinct. So one aspect of our study is that we're actually separating out some of these different experiences, measuring them separately, both through using questionnaires and also by asking people to rate the pleasantness and comfort of different sounds in a more controlled laboratory setting. And this is important not only for unpacking what the different sensory experiences are and hopefully giving people the tools and language that they need in order to convey these experiences to other people, but also because if we're not measuring the sensory experiences properly, if we don't have that foundation to our sensory research, that's really limiting everything else that we could do in terms of interventions and support and tracking whether the sensory issues are improving or getting worse. So that's one goal. The other goal of the study is more aimed at trying to figure out some of the underpinnings of the sensory experiences. And again, my own background as an autistic person comes into play there. One idea that autistic people developed is this idea of monotropism, that we have this intense hyperfocus that is really idiosyncratic and different from that of other people, which can have major implications for development, for sensory experiences, for just going through life if you're experiencing the world in a different way. But also we see research that's looking more at inattention, at attention being captured by distracting sensory stimuli. And this sort of inattention and distraction seems like the opposite of hyperfocus, right? Except that it kind of doesn't actually seem like that when you look at it more deeply. In autism and ADHD and all kinds of neurodivergence, you see that there's hyperfocus sometimes, and sometimes there's inattention and distraction. They seem to run together rather than being separate. And I think that the way that people are experiencing the world or attending to the world around them, that is very important to understand the links between inattention and hyperfocus, and understand how they could be related to a lot of these sensory experiences that are so distressing and impactful on neurodivergent people's quality of life, that can result in so many mental health problems, that can really shape the activities that people can and can't participate in, that can have such an impact on people's real world lives. I am really glad and privileged that Autism Speaks chose to support this research. It's certainly been helpful to me, and more than that, I'm grateful to Autism Speaks for its recent effort to really try and support the careers of other autistic researchers. So after I was awarded the fellowship that I received, I was actually invited to join some other autistic researchers and working together with the Autism Speaks research grants team to put together a fellowship that's aimed specifically for supporting the career development of autistic researchers, so that we can have more people in the research literature who also have not only the lived experience of being autistic, but who are part of the autistic community, who understand, where autistic and neurodivergent people are coming from, which I think is so important for our field.